If you are looking to invest for retirement, then this video is for you. Welcome to TOI Wallet Talks. What is NPS and what are the benefits of investing in this pension scheme versus other products in the market? Nirav Karkera of Fisdom breaks it down for us. Welcome to the show, Nirav. Nirav, we are discussing a very popular investment and retirement product over here today, which is NPS. First, tell us what is NPS for private sector employees or even people who are self-employed, and what does the scheme entail?
So NPS is quite similar to the mutual fund that all of us know. Mutual fund is a very popular investment vehicle, and the concept is very similar here as well. So in a mutual fund, you have many investors pool in their money together and hand it over to a fund manager to manage it professionally and deliver returns. Something very similar happens here, but here instead of investors, you call the investors as subscribers also. So there are many subscribers who invest in an NPS, and an NPS is managed by a variety of fund managers. Just like there are 40 plus mutual fund AMCs, there are around 8-9 NPS fund managers that are out there in the market. So you need to choose your fund manager of choice and then invest your money with that fund manager. Now there are two different ways in which you can choose to invest. Now in a mutual fund, which is far more popular, and many people realize that there are different schemes and categories that you get to choose from. Over here, you just need to choose the fund manager, but select the asset allocation yourself. So there are two types in which you can do it. One, you go for the active choice model. In the active choice model, you define how much of equity, corporate bonds, and government securities do you want in your portfolio. So you have the liberty to craft your asset allocation. Now, mind you, this flexibility is not available in mutual funds. Over there, asset allocation is at the discretion of fund managers. Over here, it is as per you. So this product is far more bespoke and far more tailored to your specific needs. And the second option is an auto choice model, wherein there are certain overarching principles basis which an asset allocation is recommended to you basis your age. So that is basis some best practices. So if you're not very sure what to go with, you can always choose auto choice. So an NPS in essence is an investment vehicle of pooled investments only, wherein you have the ability to choose your asset allocation.
At the time of retirement, how do the returns come to me?
You can withdraw up to 60% of your corpus, and 40% needs to be compulsorily converted to annuity. Now, when I say annuity, it means you need to invest in a product that assures a periodic return to you. Think of it as a pension. You need to invest 40% into a product that delivers periodic income to you as a pension, and you can withdraw 60% of the income. There are certain clauses wherein you can redeem your money even before you attain superannuation or retirement in this case. But those are in very rare extreme cases, wherein, there is a very valid need. It could be a serious illness. It could be a wedding in the family. There are a couple of such events that are listed by NPS. Apart from that, you will still have to wait till retirement. And once that is there, you do a 60-40.
Let's say I want an X amount of monthly retirement pension. Okay. Then how do I decide on the amount that I should be investing in NPS? What are the guidelines and guiding principles for me as an individual?
First, we got to ask ourselves as to what is the lifestyle that we expect to maintain at that point in time, and we see what would it cost to maintain such a lifestyle today. And then we take into account the inflation and project it farther into the future. So if you say you are going to retire around 20-25 years hence from now, you got to see if you would require an X amount today, and inflation were say to grow by around 8 to 10% every year, what would that amount look like 20-25 years down the line? And then you try and compute what is the amount that you require to fund such a lifestyle expense. Now, while doing that, while accounting for that, you will need a very important metric, a fair sense of assumption on a very important metric, that is the expected rate of return. Now, over here, the case varies from person to person, wherein those having a higher allocation to risk assets like equity would have a higher expected rate of return, and thereby would require to make lower contributions today to fund the same expense, versus another guy who wants to have a lot of government securities in the portfolio, which is less risky, having more stability, but also offers relatively lesser returns, he or she will have to contribute a whole lot more to achieve the same lifestyle. So it is very unique and very distinct, to every investor, to every subscriber.
So as an investor, let's say I'm in the age bracket of 25 to 40 and I can take a reasonable amount of risk with my money. Why should I invest in NPS over mutual funds in the market, or even, for example, if not mutual funds, a sovereign guarantee product like a PPF, and then reinvest my corpus into fixed income instruments at the time of retirement, which are going to give me some sort of an assured return?
So mutual funds are by far super efficient and super effective as investment vehicles. The biggest advantage in mutual funds is the liquidity that you have at any given point in time. Unlike a PPF or an NPS, your money is not quite locked in. Unless you have invested in an ELSS tax saving fund, which is locked in for just 3 years, most other products are open-ended and you can redeem whenever you want. But in an NPS, there are a few things that are in favor also. So NPS is definitely amongst the lowest cost products in the industry today. Okay, the average cost in managing an NPS product is far lesser than most mutual funds also. However, at the same time, you must realize that cost alone should not be your deciding factor. What really matters is performance post cost also. The second thing you must realize is NPS is best suited for those guys who want to allocate a smaller portion towards their retirement and want to maintain a certain discipline towards that. Now, while a mutual fund SIP happens voluntarily, and there are facilities where you can pause such SIPs, in an NPS people tend to commit for a far longer duration, and the additional tax kicker becomes an additional incentive. So when we talk about an NPS investment, along with the ATC deduction, which comes under the 1.5 lakh limits, you get an additional 50,000 exemption under ATCCD 1 subsection B. You get an additional tax break of up to 50,000 rupees, right? And along with that, if you have an employer contributed NPS, wherein an employer is contributing to your NPS account and it is a deduction as a part of your salary, you get a tax break on that as well. And in a PPF also serves a very different purpose, where there is a certain tax edge. PPF is considered as an EEE product, exempt at all 3 stages, wherein all investments are tax deductible and then all proceeds that you get from it is also exempt from taxes. And that serves as a great instrument from a discipline and from a assured income post-retirement sort of a perspective.
So Nirav, can you tell us the difference between Tier 1 and Tier 2 NPS?
Yeah, so a Tier 1 NPS is a committed NPS. Over there, you need to commit to a certain amount that you will contribute, and you get all tax breaks basis those Tier 1 investments. The entire additional ATCCD 1B that I spoke about, the employer contribution, etc., all of that falls under Tier 1. Tier 2 is it becomes a whole lot more similar to a publicly available instrument like mutual fund, because it is a voluntary scheme. It operates very similar to most other investment products. There are no special tax breaks happening here. There is no special treatment given here. It's just because you like the product that you decide to invest a whole lot more into it. That is Tier 2 investment.
Nirav, are there any recent changes to NPS that I should be aware of, or any proposed ones that you think are in the offing in the coming years?
Yeah, so NPS is continuously evolving as a product, and it is becoming more and more investor friendly, and many investors are taking to NPS as a mainstream investment option as well. So while there have been a couple of operational changes that makes life a whole lot more easier for an investor, there are a few propositions that are going to make NPS investing a whole lot more effective as well. So for example, one proposal that is being tabled and is being debated, it is not yet in force, is about introducing SWPs, or systematic withdrawal plans. That is one of the key features of a mutual fund, right? Wherein you can predefine and predetermine the periodic income that you'll require, not just the frequency, but also the amount that you need. It helps you plan your retirement and your cash flows better. So something very similar is being implemented here, or is attempting to be implemented here as well. If that comes in, I feel it will add a whole lot more effectiveness to the NPS value proposition as a whole.
Nirav, finally, if there, in case the pensioner dies, you're saying that 60% of the corpus is withdrawn and 40% is mandatorily reinvested. But in case of the death of the pensioner, what happens to that remaining 40%? Whatever, out of that is left.
So in case of death, I feel it is pretty straightforward. The inheritor or the legal heir gets to withdraw the entire amount in totality. So there's a very simple process wherein you furnish all the details of the subscriber, accompany it with the death certificate, you give in your undertaking, and then a couple of declaration forms, and you prove that you are the legal heir, and then it is a reasonably easy, straightforward process.